Philadelphia 76ers champions of 1983. Ever wondered how come Philadelphia 76ers became the champions of 1983? Well, I will tell you how they made it up to the top list. Philadelphia 76ers is an unsung team compared to other championships in NBA history. Founded in 1946 and originally known as the Syracuse Nationals, they are one of the oldest franchises in the NBA and one of only 8, out of 23, to survive the league's first decade. The 76ers in 1982 entered the season as runner-ups in NBA Finals against Los Angeles Lakers, where they lost 6 games. Harold Katz bought the 76ers in 1982, and on his watch, the final piece of the championship puzzle was completed before the 1982-83 season, when they acquired free agent center Moses Malone from the Houston Rockets in a sign and trade for Caldwell Jones. Led by Hall of Famers Julius Erving, Maurice Cheeks, Bobby Jones, and All-Star Toney, they dominated the regular season, starting the season with 49 wins against 7 losses and winning 65 games in what was the second most winning year in franchise history at that time. Erving led as the team captain and was named the NBA All-Star Game MVP, while Malone was named League MVP. The Sixers went on to win their third NBA championship with a 4-game sweep of the defending NBA champion Los Angeles Lakers, who had defeated them the season before. In this video, we will let you know how the 76ers won the 1983 championship and why this team was so special. The importance of All-Star Toney and the 6th Man of the Year Bobby Jones. Due to a trade made with the Indiana Pacers in 1976, the Sixers were able to have the 8th pick in the draft. They used that pick on a scrappy shooting guard who would eventually turn into a star by the name of Toney. He played in 75 games as a rookie and he averaged 12.9 points and 3.6 assists while playing excellent perimeter defense. This then earned him even more playing time and he became an All-Star in 1983 when he averaged 19.7 points and 4.5 assists while helping the team win a championship over the Los Angeles Lakers. Toney would normally save his best games in the playoffs for the Boston Celtics, and he eventually earned the nickname the Boston Strangler. He would finish with 2 All-Star appearances and he retired in 1988 after a solid 8 seasons, all with the Sixers. Bobby Jones was one of the most admired defenders ever to wear an NBA uniform. He was also considered one of the most virtuous. While most other players depended on the occasional thrown elbow, hip check, or grab of the uniform to gain an advantage, Jones relied on hustle and determination. It was Jones's stellar defense along with his other specialties such as leadership that made him a standout 6th man. Opposing teams could ill afford to relax on defense when Jones came off the bench, and they also had to work a lot harder on offense to get the ball in or even near the basket. Jones's coaches would marvel that he was so good at things they had trouble getting many other players to do it all, such as blocking shots, moving without the ball, hustling back on defense, tipping passes, diving after loose balls, and giving up an open outside shot so a teammate could hit from inside. How the 76ers swept the Lakers so easily in the finals. The 1983 NBA World Championship Series, also known as Showdown 83, was the championship round of the National Basketball Association, NBA's 1982-83 season, and the culmination of the season's playoffs. It was the last NBA championship series completed before June 1. Malone's acquisition paid dividends, as the 76ers won 65 games in the 1982-83 NBA season. Prior to the playoffs, Malone predicted the team would win in 4 games in each of the 3 rounds, ending it with the statement foe. The 76ers would steamroll through the playoffs, sweeping the New York Knicks 4-0 in the conference semifinals, before overcoming the Milwaukee Bucks in 5 games. The Sixers trailed 65-51 at the half and were down 93-82 entering the 4th quarter. But they outscored the Lakers 33-15 in the final 12 minutes. The Sixers had trailed at the half in all 4 games. Erving gave the Sixers the lead for good with 59 seconds left on a 3-point play, making it 109-107. Another Erving basket, followed by a Malone dunk, and the Sixers were on their way. The win was punctuated by Maurice Cheeks' fast break dunk for the Sixers' final points. Malone, who was named the Finals MVP, had 24 points and 23 rebounds. Toney scored 23 points, Erving had 21, and Cheeks 20. Jones scored 13, shooting 6 for 7 from the field, along with 4 steals and 2 blocked shots. Cunningham said the key was the chemistry in the locker room, which helped us winning so easily. Why the addition of Moses Malone was so important to the Sixers. The 76ers date back to the NBA's very first season, 1949-50, when the franchise was born as the Syracuse Nationals. In the nearly 7 decades since, they have been shaped by some of the most unique people, whether players, coaches, or executives, to ever be associated with the sport, and whose impact has been deeply felt throughout the league. It's difficult to exaggerate how good Malone was in his prime. After being traded from Houston to Philadelphia, he won a second consecutive MVP award, led the league in rebounding for a third straight season, and helped the Sixers finally overcome the Lakers. He also was a clear choice for Finals MVP, averaging 25.8 points and 18 rebounds in the series. Even if the Sixers didn't pull it off, fans will always remember his bold faux prediction and how he nearly backed it up with his play. Why he's important? If you don't know, you really need to turn in your Welcome to the Moment and This Starts Now t-shirts, and go root for, like, LeBron. But anyway, Moses, a Senator acquired from Houston before the 1982-83 season, was the driving force in the Sixers' run to that year's NBA championship, the most recent of 3 titles they have won in their history. What he did, turned, and went to the rack. Again and again, always and forever. Nobody in the history of the game ever hit the offensive glass with Moses' ferocity. And that was the missing ingredient for a Sixers team that at that point in its history was great, but never quite great enough. He completed the puzzle, and then some. Why the 76ers were one of the greatest teams with one of the greatest winning percentages at 81% when you combine playoff and season records. The franchise has played 57 seasons as the Philadelphia 76ers, with 36 playoff appearances and 2 championships. The Sixers acquired Philadelphia native Wilt Chamberlain in 1964 from the Warriors and defeated Chamberlain's former team in the 1967 finals, but suffered a sharp fall from grace due to the loss of Chamberlain to retirement and Billy Cunningham to the ABA. In 1972-73 the team won only 9 games, the fewest in an 82-game NBA season. Under coaches Gene Shue and Cunningham, and the on-court leadership of forward Julius Erving, the 76ers returned as a power quite rapidly, achieving winning records in all but one season from 1975-76 to 1990-91. The Sixers won their last title in 1983 against the Los Angeles Lakers, sweeping them in 4 games. During the 1990s, the 76ers declined to an 18-64 record in 1995-96 before popular high-scoring guard Allen Iverson led the team back up the table. In 2001 the Iverson-led 76ers won 56 games and defeated the Milwaukee Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals to reach the 2001 Finals but lost to the Lakers 4-1 in the best-of-7 series. The 76ers were a middle-of-the-road team on court during the following dozen seasons, but by the early 2010s, financial problems led incoming general manager Sam Hinkie to clean out any expensive players in order to save money and gain draft choices for the future. The 76ers set many records for ineptitude in the following 3 seasons, becoming the second NBA team after the 1995-96 to 1998-99 Grizzlies to suffer 3 consecutive seasons winning fewer than 20 games. In 2015-16 by going 10-72 the 76ers suffered the ignominy of having suffered the 2 all-time worst 82-game NBA season winning percentages. How they achieved the 3rd best playoff record with 12-1. The Sixers haven't won a championship since 1983, and haven't advanced past the first round of the playoffs since 2003. They recently broke that with a first-round series win against the Bulls this season. It is a franchise filled with great history and a winning pedigree. Guys like Allen Iverson, Charles Barkley, Moses Malone, Julius Erving, and Wilt Chamberlain have played for the Sixers. The last time the Sixers won an NBA title was in 1983, with one of the most talented rosters ever assembled by the club. Led by coach Billy Cunningham, the Sixers carried a strong lineup featuring Julius Erving, Maurice Cheeks, Andrew Toney, and Moses Malone. They would sweep the Los Angeles Lakers in 4 games, as big man Moses Malone predicted in his prophetic. He went on to have 28 points and 18 rebounds in the deciding game. They have won 3 NBA championships, with their first coming as the Syracuse Nationals in 1955. The second title came in 1967, a team which was led by Chamberlain. The third title came in 1983, won by a team led by Erving and Malone. The 76ers have only been back to the NBA Finals once since then, in 2001, where they were led by Iverson and lost to the Los Angeles Lakers in 5 games. The Philadelphia 76ers has been one of the most storied franchises in NBA history. Even though they haven't won championships like the Los Angeles Lakers or the Boston Celtics, they still have a special place in most NBA fans' minds and hearts. This generation of 76ers includes the unstoppable Joel Embiid and the unpredictable Ben Simmons. The 76ers have been in title contention for the last 3 to 4 years now. They have been steadily improving every year since. Will they take the next step to get over that hump? Will the combination of Embiid and Simmons lead the 76ers to a title? Time will tell if this group will add their name to some of the greatest teams in NBA history. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe down below. Until next time.